Live shots. If you've stepped outside, you know there are some changes coming. Our front has started to make its way into northern Utah. We're going to see this moving through tonight, and our snow levels are going to drop drastically. We could get those down to about 5,000 to 6,000 feet, with most of our accumulation above 6,500 feet. But we've got a cold storm moving in this evening. It's in the 70s right now. Our wind is about 15 to 20 miles per hour in Salt Lake and Ogden, close to 70 for Ogden and Provo right now. So warm and breezy across the region, with some pretty big changes arriving for tomorrow morning. Now, this is going to be a quick moving storm, but it's going to pack a punch, and our temperatures are going to be a lot colder as we get into tomorrow afternoon. So enjoy the 60s and 70s while we have them tonight. St. George, you are going to be in the 70s through about 7 o'clock. Then you'll drop into the 60s. But we've got some pretty big changes for tomorrow morning. At 10 o'clock tonight, we're still close to 50 to 60 degrees here across Utah. Precipitation moves in overnight. In fact, our warmest temperatures tomorrow will likely be first thing in the morning. More on what to expect throughout the day tomorrow coming up. Hopefully, if you've got an apple tree at your house, it's producing something, because I'll tell you what, it feels like fall today. We're going to have a taste of winter tomorrow morning here across northern Utah, and then we're going to see this front moving through. It's going to move through really quickly, and then by tomorrow afternoon, that's going to be clearing. But we're already seeing much colder temperatures off to our northwest. So that front is starting to move into Utah. It's already cooler in Elko right now. So compared to this time 24 hours ago, it is about 5 to 10 degrees warmer outside, 60s and 70s. Tomorrow is going to be a whole different ball game, though, as far as temperatures go. So right now, still dry, warm, windy for tonight, cloudy, rain, and then things are going to be a little bit cooler in the morning, but we'll actually see those temperatures cooling throughout the day. Widespread precipitation first thing tomorrow morning. Snow levels will be dropping likely to about 5,000 to 6,000 feet, with most accumulation for snow above 6,500 feet. So patchy frost as the storm clears out tomorrow evening into Friday morning. We've got some very cold temperatures ahead. So first thing, 10 o'clock tonight, precipitation is starting to fill in. Front is going to move through overnight. We'll see some brief heavy precipitation as this front moves through. Mountain snow levels will be dropping. Could even see some flurries into the benches. Depending on the intensity of that precipitation, may even see some flurries at your house. And then wind will start to calm down tomorrow by about 5, 6 o'clock. Still going to be breezy, but then we're going to see that storm quickly pushing out of here. So as I mentioned, first thing tomorrow morning, it will be cool. It'll be in the mid 40s at 8 a.m. But then we're going to see that about 40 degrees by noon. And then temperatures could bounce back a little bit in the afternoon as that storm does move out. So for St. George, you're going to have a typical temperature trend tomorrow, mid 50s in the morning into the 70s in the afternoon. Mid to upper 70s tomorrow for St. George. And then we will see a little bit of a cool down Sunday, Monday, about 60 to 65. Your temperatures next week will be cooling down for overnight lows, but Halloween's looking pretty decent, 67 and mostly sunny. For Salt Lake, we've got 50 tomorrow for a high. Morning rain, quite a bit cooler, still breezy. Friday, morning frost. Few isolated showers are possible on Saturday as another system moves through, but we've got some really cold nights ahead. We'll talk more about that and Halloween coming up later in the hour. Quick system drops in for Saturday. We will see a little bit of isolated precipitation across northern Utah, but we'll keep most of that into eastern Utah for Saturday afternoon. And then things are going to be pretty cold as we wrap up the weekend. So for tonight until 4 p.m. tomorrow, we do have winter weather advisories posted for the mountains of northern Utah. We are mostly looking at 5 to 10 inches of snow. Locally, higher amounts are possible in areas like the Cottonwoods, and we will have winter driving conditions in the mountains. Then, depending on where you are, if you're in the eastern Uinta Basin, starting tonight, you have a freeze watch through Friday morning. And if you're along the Wasatch Front, this does include all of our main big cities along the Wasatch Front. We have freeze watches Thursday night through Friday morning. So you'll want to make sure that you're protecting plants and also outdoor pipes. So if you haven't winterized yet, It would be a great time to get that done this evening if you can. Into tomorrow morning, we're looking at 40s and 50s for areas of northern Utah, quickly cooling down though. So depending on what time you wake up, if you're an early riser, it might be a little more mild, but we're going to have temperatures then cooling throughout the morning. Precipitation quickly gets out of here into tomorrow afternoon. That's why our winter weather advisory is from midnight until 4 p.m. So we're going to have a lot of precipitation in the morning, widespread to likely here along the Wasatch Front. For Ogden, we're looking at that for early in the day tomorrow. Could see some isolated precipitation Friday night through Saturday. And then for Provo, same thing, likely tomorrow. Friday night, widely scattered to isolated showers through Saturday. And for St. George, your chance of precipitation is really low heading into the next couple of days. But you'll see a little bit of a cool down. So as I mentioned, mostly 5 to 10 inches of snow for the higher terrain. Locally, higher amounts are possible in the UNS along the highest peaks and in the Cottonwood Canyon. So we could see some brief, very slick driving conditions for the first half of tomorrow that'll linger into the mountains throughout the afternoon. Then that storm does move out. St. George 76 later tonight, because if this had been moving in right now, it'd be a much different story for those reporters and also for the fans trying to get downtown right now. Our cold front is starting to move though into northwest Utah. Our main weather headlines: our storm this evening. Snow levels will be dropping to about 5,000 to 6,000 feet. Most snow accumulation will be above 6,500 feet. And our temperatures right now, downtown Salt Lake, actually at the airport, 73 degrees. So it's about 70 in downtown right now, close to 70 for Ogden. Provo, 67. And it's breezy out there across the region, 20 to 35 miles per hour. So it's not quite that pleasant when you've got that gusty of conditions, but precipitation moves in overnight tonight, and by the time that you wake up tomorrow morning, it'll be quite a bit different here across northern Utah. So for Salt Lake, as that game is wrapping up, close to 60 degrees at 10 p.m. We'll talk more about this incoming storm, snow levels, and also impacts getting into this upcoming weekend in the full forecast. Haven't been paying attention to the forecast the last couple of days. You might be like, what? Snow? It was so warm today. Warm and windy. A front moves in tonight. This drops our temperatures significantly heading into tomorrow and through the weekend. So right now that front is off to our northwest. Look at this change already in Elko. 12 degrees colder compared to this time 24 hours ago. It's a little bit warmer for us here along the Wasatch Front right now, as that front is just starting to make its way into northwest Utah. But you'll notice that difference into Elko, low 50s right now. Most of us still close to 70 degrees here along the Wasatch Front. We will see some brief heavy precipitation with that front as it moves through. And then we get into tomorrow, snow levels are dropping and we're going to have much cooler temperatures. So widespread precipitation in the morning. This is going to be a quick moving storm. It's going to be out of here in the afternoon. We will see some lingering precipitation up into the mountains, but overall it moves out really quickly. Thursday night into Friday morning, we've got patchy frost. If you haven't winterized yet, maybe using this afternoon to do so would be a great idea. And then we're going to have temperatures quite a bit cooler tomorrow afternoon. So Thursday, 6 a.m., areas of mountain snow and then valley rain. Snow levels likely dropping to about 5,000 to 6,000 feet, although most of our accumulating snow will be above 6,500 feet. And the wind gust forecast for tomorrow, Thursday, 5 p.m., it's cooler and it's also going to be breezy. So today was warm and windy. It was a warm wind. Tomorrow, the breeze will make you feel even cooler. So for Salt Lake, we likely have our coldest part of the day late morning into the afternoon. So lunchtime tomorrow, low 40s here in Salt Lake. And then we're going to see a little bit of sunshine peeking through right after lunch tomorrow. St. George, you'll have a typical daytime heating trend. So you'll be at your coldest part likely tomorrow, 6, 7, 8 a.m. right around sunrise. And then you'll see your temperatures into the 70s for tomorrow. 72 on Friday, 70 just about on Saturday, 60 on Sunday for St. George. And for Salt Lake, we're around 45 to 50 degrees through much of the forecast. So for tomorrow, morning rain, quite a bit cooler, breezy. Mostly sunny on Friday, 53. Mid 40s only on Saturday, so we've got a cold football game at the U on Saturday. We'll talk more about that chance for snow, how much snow we could see, and where we have freeze watches for Friday morning coming. A cold storm moves into Utah. If you've got a furry friend, they might not like the conditions tomorrow morning as you let them out to go potty first thing in the morning as the system is moving through. It's quickly out of here into tomorrow afternoon, but it is going to pack a punch, and we're going to see a big cool down getting into Thursday night, Friday morning. Then on Saturday, we've got another quick system that's going to move through. Best chance for precipitation right now looking like central and eastern Utah, but we will have some isolated showers here across northern Utah. Then will be again very cold as this system exits. So for tonight through 4 o'clock tomorrow, starting at midnight tonight through 4 p.m. tomorrow, we do have winter weather advisories for the mountains of northern Utah. We're mainly looking at 5 to 10 inches of snow. Potentially some locally higher amounts are possible. Then depending on where you are, if you live along the Wasatch Front, we'll have freeze watches Thursday night through Friday morning. So if you haven't winterized yet, you'll want to make sure you're getting to that. If you live in the eastern Uinta Basin, you've got freeze watches for tonight through Friday morning. So protecting plants and pipes. Hour by hour forecast. Front moves through overnight tonight. It's going to bring us some brief heavy precipitation during our overnight hours. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're looking at about 40 to 50 degrees. Temperatures will continue to cool behind that front, and then we will see a little bit of afternoon heating once that system is off to our east. So we'll see likely our coolest temperatures late tomorrow morning through midday, and then we'll see a little bit of a warm up after school tomorrow, after the workday is getting ready to end. For Ogden, likely precipitation tomorrow, then Friday night and Saturday isolated showers with that follow-up system on Saturday. Very cold temperatures for the next several days. For Provo, likely precipitation tomorrow morning. Friday night, scattered showers, isolated showers. Friday, Saturday for Provo. And for St. George, you're going to keep things dry for the next couple of days. As far as snowfall goes, we are mostly going to keep this north of I-70, and then mainly 5 to 10 inches of snow for the highest terrain. Snow levels could drop to about 5,000 feet, but most accumulation will likely be above 6,500 feet. St. George, 76 tomorrow, 72 Friday. By Halloween next week, 67 for Salt Lake. We're around 45 to 50 windy. We've got a front that's moving through, and I'll tell you what, I'm glad that that front wasn't moving through. We're going to see some heavy precipitation at times overnight. Temperatures are going to be much cooler tomorrow, but we're still in the 50s and 60s here across northern Utah. Precipitation chances start to go up around midnight tonight for the Wasatch Front, and that takes us through about lunchtime tomorrow. So this is going to be a quick moving storm, but it is going to move through, and it is going to pack a punch. We are going to be a lot colder as we head into the weekend. Temperatures tomorrow throughout the day will be hanging out in the 40s for pretty much the entire day for tomorrow. Snow levels are dropping drastically. We're going to have much colder temperatures heading into this weekend. Areas of frost here along the Wasatch Front for Friday morning. And as you wake up, we're looking at mostly 30s and 40s here across the state. But here's the deal. We are hardly warming up tomorrow. We'll have more on how much precipitation to expect, timings for the commute, and the impacts there in the full forecast. Is moving in tonight. That's why we are so warm and windy today. We are still windy here in Salt Lake with our gusts currently 36 miles per hour. Our front moves through. We see periods of heavy precipitation overnight, lingering into the morning drive tomorrow, potentially for us here along the Wasatch Front. And if you do have plans to drive along the northern mountains tomorrow, we're going to likely see some significant snowfall in some areas. So we definitely will have winter driving conditions at times with winter weather advisories starting at midnight tonight for the northern mountains, taking us through 4 p.m. tomorrow. Temperatures here across the state right now, mostly 50s and 60s. Today was our warmest day that we will probably see for a while. So right now, precipitation is starting to fill into northwest Utah. Still looking at rain across the board. Snow levels will likely be dropping to about 5,000 to 6,000 feet heading into our overnight hours and tomorrow morning. Cloudy, rain, and cool for the rest of tonight. Widespread precipitation tomorrow morning with those snow levels dropping, and then the storm's going to clear out pretty quickly, so it's going to move through tomorrow morning. Then by tomorrow afternoon, it'll be cool and we'll also see more sunshine. Snow levels around 5,000 to 6,000 feet. Most accumulating snowfall will be above 6,500 feet though. And temperatures tomorrow throughout the day, we will not see a typical warming trend here across northern Utah. So what I mean by that is you'll likely have your coldest part of the day late morning to about lunchtime, and then we could see with a little more sunshine tomorrow afternoon, temperatures rising again. So it's going to be an interesting curve tomorrow temperature wise for northern Utah. Looking at 6 a.m., 40s for much of the state. Into tomorrow afternoon, we'll still see some breezy conditions, but the storm's going to move off to our east pretty quickly, although let's still call it breezy here across the state for tomorrow. Now let's talk more about that temperature trend, because when you wake up at 6 a.m., it is likely going to be warmer than it will be at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then we'll see sunshine throughout the afternoon, but best chances for precipitation midnight to about noon tomorrow. And then for St. George, your temperatures will be a normal warming trend throughout the day with daytime heating, where you'll be coldest around sunrise, warmest middle of the afternoon. By tomorrow at 4 o'clock, most precipitation's off to our east. We'll see some lingering precipitation for the mountains, with temperatures tomorrow, let's call it 20 to 30 degrees colder than today. 76 tomorrow in St. George, 72 on Friday. By Sunday, a high of only 60. And for Salt Lake, I also want to point out our overnight lows right around freezing. We'll have a freeze watch for Friday morning. More on that coming up. We'll be right back. Our cycling for tomorrow morning, things are going to be quite cool and quite wet as a storm moves in. That's going to be off to our east. Second half of the day tomorrow, behind it we'll have some cool weather. Another quick system drops in Saturday and will keep it cool through the rest of the weekend. So for tonight, winter weather advisory start at midnight through 4 p.m. tomorrow for the northern mountains, mainly 5 to 10 inches of snowfall. Some locally higher amounts are possible. So bulk of our impacts on the roads tomorrow will be first half of the day. Then come tomorrow night for the Wasatch Front, we've got freeze watches. So if you haven't winterized yet, you'll want to make sure that gets done before tomorrow evening. For tonight, for the eastern Uinta Basin, you'll have a freeze watch this evening through Friday morning. Protect those plants and pipes. Tonight at 10 o'clock, still 50s and 60s here across the state. We're looking at about 40 to 50 degrees early tomorrow morning, but here's the deal. We are not going to see a normal warming trend tomorrow because of the timing of our front tonight. So we'll actually be one of our warmer temperatures tomorrow first thing in the morning, and then again once the storm clears out in the afternoon. We'll actually see a little bit of a dip late morning into about lunchtime tomorrow. Then by 5 o'clock tomorrow, most precipitation's off to our east, potentially still lingering in the mountains, but most of this will be between about midnight tonight and then tomorrow around lunchtime. So chance of precipitation in Ogden for tomorrow is likely. Then with that next quick system, Friday into Saturday, some isolated chances for Ogden. For Provo, your chance of precipitation likely tomorrow morning, and then Friday through Saturday, isolated to widely scattered showers for Utah County. And for St. George, you are mostly going to be staying dry over the next couple of days. 76 tomorrow in St. George, 72 on Friday, 70 on Saturday, a little bit cooler on Sunday, a high of 60. And for the Wasatch Front,